Welcome back to the studio, guys. Today we are going to work on a Metroid sculpture. For some reason, I just decided to do a video game. The last video game sculpture I did was Battlefield 5, and I thought that was kind of a neat sculpture. So this time, I'm going back to Nintendo 8 days. This, of course, is Metroid, but I am sculpting Samus Aran, which I'm using water clay, and I am not using an armature. For the Hulk sculpture, I did use an armature that I just poked in the torso, but there's nothing really holding up the sculpture. And the shoulders of this character are pretty heavy because of the cannons, and the head is a little bit smaller, much smaller than the shoulders. I really like doing video game stuff. I might do a couple more things. I think I did on the YouTube channel a Black Mage from Final Fantasy as well. And that only survives as a 3D scan. And I do enjoy the 3D scanning because oftentimes with these water-based clays and oil-based clays, it makes much more sense to make a 3D scan and then print it if you really want to save money. So I did a little bit of the jetpack in the back. One of the tools I do like to use are the silicone tools. You're going to see me using that often here, and even in my regular figure sculptures, I'll use them because I like the straight edginess to it. It gives it a very different style. And also with water-based clay as opposed to oil-based clay, it gives it like a handmade type of style. If you use oil-based clay, just look at my videos about the Battlefield sculpture. There's like a very robotic thing about using oil-based clay that I just can't get over it. There are some really great sculptors on YouTube, and they do oil-based clay, and their stuff looks amazing. But for some reason, I can't get my sculptures to really be as fluid as I like. And water-based clay lets you be as fluid as possible. You know, I've thought about this before. You can be almost an impressionist with water-based clay. You don't have to be a realist. And you know, one of the issues that I see on YouTube is that, and including me, I see myself doing this, is that you try to become very detailed, but there's not a lot of point in becoming so detailed. When you look at old master sculptures, for example, there's not a lot of detail in the sculptures. You might think there is, but everything is abstracted, everything is simple. So I think going forward, I want to go more towards that. I don't want to go towards realism per se, but I want to make it a little bit more abstract and a little bit simpler. Now, I don't really like abstraction when it comes to the modern sense. I think in the last sculpture that I did, which was the portrait of the Asian girl, I kind of liked that a lot because it was gesturally. And I think one of my problems is that I take too long with sculptures and I keep going back and forth. But also, if you ever look at my house, it is full of sculptures and I don't have any more table space to put stuff. That's one of the reasons I do reliefs. Reliefs, at least I can put them on the wall. So the jetpack, I'm making some additional changes. This part, I decided to make the blocks abstractly and almost impressionistic because I wanted to make it resemble like a Nintendo 8-bit blocks from the original Metroid game. And from a distance, they kind of look like it. Now, I could go all robotic and make them very realistic, but I don't think I want that. Even the hand cannon, There's so much to it, and it's just a matter of like
The last
how
Metroid
much detail
is
do
in
you really want to
captivity.
put into this.
The
And
galaxy
I think for
is
me, I
at
just
peace.
want to have a little bit of a definition of it. The sticks, as you guys have known that have watched the channel before, they're there as kind of like the armatures. They hold the leg, the arms, the shoulders together while the clay is firming up. Now, what can I do with this base? I was thinking about putting a Metroid or maybe a Mother Brain from the original game, but then it just looks like Metroid is just like taking a crap all over it. So I decided to just leave it as a block, and this time I'm just going to make it more, a little bit different. I'm going to put an emblem in there. At least it's going to be part of the design of the sculpture. In antiquity, that's often used, and with water-based clay, you do need a little bit of a support because on this sculpture, the only things that are touching the ground is that left foot and that right knee and a little bit of the toe of the right leg. So there's not a lot of support. And the shoulders, the head, the hand cannon, they're very heavy. So you want to be able to have a little bit more support. So this is what I ended up doing. It's a relief of Metroid. That little creature, that is really what the Metroid is. When I played the game, I thought Metroid really was the character of Samus, but apparently not. And I could have done a little bit more with it, but I think I'm kind of interested in doing more of a quick style and not draw too much attention to details that don't seem to matter all that much. So I'll put in a little bit of the brushes just to dilute a little bit of the hard lines of the Metroid relief.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
We're coming towards the end of this Metroid sculpture, and I had a good time with it. It was a quick sculpture using just old clay that I'm going to be putting in the kiln. I am going to be making some videos on how to fire sculptures in the kiln, so stay tuned for that. But this was a very fun sculpture, and I kind of enjoyed it. After a portrait sculpture, two portrait sculptures that ended up terribly and very frustrating, it was nice to do something fun like this. So, as per usual, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for the next sculpture. I don't know yet what I'll be doing, but hopefully you guys will know soon enough. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.